Well, good Thursday morning, everyone. I'm trying something a little different today. I'm not in the car, but I am using my my little telephone here as my my broadcasting technology here because I want to share something with you that I want to hold a camera to while I. So we'll see if this works. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around, hopefully without shutting it off for a second. And let's see. Here's a little table set up here that we've got. Now, many of you will recognize this little three-dimensional tablet here as the Enochian magic tablet of union. And those are Enochian or angelic letters that spell from top to bottom X harp, Hakama, Nanta, Batum. And those are like archangels of the elements. As a matter of fact, for practical purposes, magical practical purposes, they are the equivalent of Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel. Okay, they're archangels of the elements, archangels of the quarters. Now you'll notice that they're made of truncated pyramids. Each have four sides, and the top and bottom sides are white. To indicate spirit. And then if you sort of look at it from, well, look, I've got a bigger version of it right here on the floor in front of me. Now, if you look at everything from this side, you'll see that it's the lines from top to bottom are predominantly, rotate your phone, it says, yellow for air, water, green, blue for water, green for earth, and red for fire. So, and if you look at it sort of from this side, you'll see that the columns are, that first column is predominantly white for spirit, and then yellow for air, blue for water, green for earth, and red for fire. So, and here we have them spelled out. X harp, Hakoma, Nanta, Bitum. So if we were going to use the oh, there's my socks. Hope you enjoy my Enochian socks there. That may be the only useful thing you get out of this. Okay, if we were going to do fire, water, air, earth, Gabriel, Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, okay, it'd be Raphael for air, and then Gabriel for water, and then Uriel for earth, and Michael for fire. But that in Enochian, that those same forces are called X-harp, Hakama, Nanta, Betum. Okay, now let's go back over here and grab these tarot cards. And I'm trying to do everything and hold the camera too. This first row right there reading from top to bottom, XEHNB. And you can see that 3 of the sides are white. So that's primarily spirit. But 1/4 is the element they represent. So the E would be spirit of air. The H would be spirit of water. The N would be spirit of earth. And the B would be spirit of fire. And that's exactly what we have right here. There's the E right there. There's its pyramid. See it? Now you'll note, so that would be the Ace of Swords, the equivalent of the Ace of Swords. And if you'll look up here in the corner, you see a great big tablet, 156 squares, as a matter of fact. That is called the elemental tablet of air. Now, it all lives inside that E right there, that pyramid right there. This lives inside it. So right here, the E, and that lives inside it. And all of those angels live inside it too. But you'll see that that elemental tablet is broken up into 4 sections. We've got in the upper left there, it's yellow. So that is the air sub-angle of the air tablet. The blue one is the water sub-angle of the air tablet, the earth and the fire. And those are represented, those smaller sections are represented by the remaining 4 letters of the word X-harp. So I'm just going to put this right there like that. And the subangles, there would be the air subangle, X. Notice, see, I've even got the X square there. And that's, see, that is the close-up of the subangle of air. And it has its own little hierarchy of angels. So there's tons of angels crammed in each of these court cards. There's the queen for the subangle of water. And here is the princess for the subangle of earth. That's the R of X-harp. That's her subangle. And here is the night, or the fire of air. So we've got X-harp. And ruling them all is that ace. They all live inside that ace. We could pick up these pyramids and shove them all under the ace, and that would still be an accurate thing. So, just for the hell of it, there is the H of Hakama would be the Ace of Cups. So there's the Ace of Cups. The C would be the Prince of Cups. The O would be the Queen of Cups. The M would be the Princess of Cups. The Knight of Cups would be the final A for Fire of Water. Looking pretty cool. Nanta is Earth, like the Archangel of Earth, or it would be Uriel, Kabbalistically. And there is the Ace of Discs, Prince of Discs, Queen of Discs, Princess of Discs, and the Knight of Discs. And finally, for Bitum, or Fire, which would be Wands, and very close to my socks here, Ace of Wands, Prince of Wands, Queen of Wands, and Princess of Wands, and Knight of Wands. So you can see with the columns, first column, EHNB, is all of the aces. And inside the aces, just like that elemental tablet thing, are 4 sub-elements. The princes, the queens, the princesses, and the knights. And there is the Enochian version of the elemental tablet, or the tablet of union of the elemental system of Enochian magic. And that's all the court cards. Now, why am I saying all of this? And I build this as charging your tarot cards with Enochian magic. There are calls. Let's see, maybe I'll put my face back here for a second. There are calls in the angelic tongue, the angelic language, that activate these different sections of the elemental world. Okay. And there's a call that, when you tweak it a little bit, also opens up the world of the heavens, or the aethers. But in this particular case, what we're talking about here is the elemental aspect of Enochian magic. And there are calls that literally activate, wake up, if you will, the forces, the spiritual forces within each of these elements, sub-elements, etc. Now, you'll point out that there's 36 small cards, too. Well, yes. Here, we'll look at the... Okay, let me try to do this. We'll use the... Okay, in that big Enochian square there in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a big white cross that separates the 4 subangles. Now, there are 2 columns and 1 row that contain 36 additional squares. Those 36 squares, lettered squares, are Enochian angels, small ones. It's a modular kind of setup, which are also the 36 small cards of the tarot. And each of them are lettered differently depending on what element we're doing. But they're in groups of 3s that represent the 36 decans of the zodiac. And those groups of 3s stay together as we move from one elemental tablet to another. And they're just positioned in the big great cross there. They're just positioned a little differently according to the rulership, the elemental rulership of the tablet that they're in. So for the fire one, you would have you'd start off with the cardinal fixed and mutables, the Aries, the three Aries decans would be in a more honorable position, okay, for the elemental tablet of fire. But we're not going to get into that right now. What I'm saying is, and what I've billed today's talk about, is how to charge your tarot cards. In the Enochian system of that angelic language calls, they're called calls or cries of each of these sections. It's like the calls themselves are sort of like the school song that these angels all recognize. Now, imagine you're an Enochian angel and you're walking past somebody's house here in Sacramento, and all of a sudden you hear your school song. You hear the song that means something to you, that's familiar to you, that you had no idea. You're so surprised that that song that's specific to you and your school fight song, should be coming out of that house. You go, whoa, Sacramento, and they're singing our song. We got to look in on them. So when you do an Enochian call, it's like you're doing that. And the angels show up saying, okay, we're in harmony with that. We recognize that. And when they come into your presence, when you get their attention with that song, they bring their level of consciousness with them and envelop you in it. It's like they're surrounded by their own mystic frequency level of consciousness Jello, and they bring that Jello into your living room, and you're in that Jello too for the time being, for the short period of time. And it's in that Jello that if you put yourself in a calm, meditative, receptive mood, you have visions. Visions that are meaningful for you and you alone. Visions that occur to you when you're resonating with that frequency of angelic Jello. I hope you can interpret that into something meaningful. Anyway, I'm going to turn this back over to here because I promised you how to charge your tarot cards. Now, the EHNB, right there, the Archangel, the wake-up Archangel, is the first Enochian call. And the second Enochian call, after you do that first there, the second Enochian call activates all of them. Now there are third, fourth, fifth, sixth, etc., all the way up to 18, and they, in turn, specifically activate the remaining 16. But in order to do them, they have to first be switched on. It's like you activate the main circuitry with this one. Okay, like you turn the power on to the block of your neighborhood. Okay, with these guys, then you turn on the power to the individual houses in the neighborhood. Okay, then you turn on the individual power for each of the rooms in the houses, if you want to look at it that way. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the camera here, but I'm going to open up using the Crowley pronunciation, the Golden Dawn pronunciation, because that's the way I learned it. I use other pronunciations for the rest of the things over the years, but for the first and second call, I nostalgically use the Golden Dawn method. So here is the activating the aces. And if you activate the aces, you're also activating all of those, generally speaking, potentially, and the 36 small cards too, because they're all in the aces. In the number 21, in the grand word Ehyeh, in the name Yeshua, in the password INRI. O spirits of the tablet of spirit, ye I invoke. Making the sign of Osiris slain, the sign of the morning of Isis, the sign of Apophis and Typhon, the sign of Osiris risen. LVX, Lux, the light of the cross. In the name of Yehovah, Al-Vaha-Vadalth, I declare that the spirits of spirit have been duly invoked. That is a classic Golden Dawn opening. Ol sanuf vaurisaji gohu yad balata, elanu sahake elazad vomfo. Sobrazod ol ro rei ita na zeda pesad. Gira ata maele pareje, das hoel ko ka'a nota hoa zodamezod. Sobatehil ginonupe pareje aladi, das faurebe sobolahegere sam, kasaram oharala kabapaire. Das zorunure nu sajika beremi yadanahe. Filahe farez odem, zorunure zoda adana gono, iadapi el das hometohe. Sobe ipemi lu ipimis das sobola vepe zoda meda po amal, od bogira ai ta piape piamo el od va o an. Zodakare, eke, od zorumaranu, odaki kale ka'a, zodoreje lape, zodoredo noko mada, hoa thahe yada. That was the first key. The English translation of that, if you want to hear it. I reign over ye, saith the Lord, saith the God of justice. There, I'll get that in there. In power, exalted above the firmament of wrath, in whose hands the sun is as a sword and the moon as a through-thrusting fire, who measureth your garments in the midst of my vestures, and trussed you together as the palms of my hands, whose seats I garnished with the fire of gathering, and beautified your garments with admiration, to whom I've made a law to govern the holy ones, and delivered ye a rod with the ark of knowledge. Moreover, you lifted up your voices and swear obedience and faith unto him that liveth and triumpheth, whose beginning is not, nor end cannot be, which shineth as a flame in the midst of your palaces, and reigneth among you as the balance of righteousness and truth. Move, therefore, and shew yourselves. Open the mysteries of your creation. Be friendly unto me, for I am the servant of the same your God, the true worshipper of the highest. EHNB. Ol venu zakamils ge ehenba odo cycleque ehenba. The second Enochian call that kicks on the remaining subangles, or generally the main power switch of them. They have individual power switches too. This is the second call. Adagita vau Paahezurunuranu fa'aipe salada. Vi vauel subame iel perege I zoda zod piadapehe kasarema. Abaremeji tadaloa parakalida ko talores ko turabesa uge balatohe. Gi ui kahisa lusada orore od mikalapape. Kahisa ba ozunurkanu. Lape noanu torofe koresa taje o kuo mi nainu ia iodone. Torezo du. Gohe el zodakare eke. Ka no kuoda od zanamaranu mikalazodo od az adazodame vaurilar lapes zodir io iad. The translation of that is, can the wings of the winds understanding your voice of wonder. Understand your voice of wonder. O you, the second of the first, whom the burning flames have framed in the depth of my jaws, I have prepared as cups for a wedding. It's kind of hard to do all of these things. Or as flowers in their beauty for the chamber of righteousness. Stronger are your feet than the barren stone, and mightier are your voices than the manifold winds. For you are become a building such as is not, save in the mind of the all-powerful. Arise, saith the first, move therefore unto his servants, shew yourselves in power, and make me strong seer of things. For I am him that liveth forever. EHNB. Ehenba. Oluvanu udzakamilske ehenba. Now, if you're playing this back at home, certainly not while you're driving, you settled back, and for about 5 minutes, just observe what goes on in your mind. It's a sort of a wizard's daydream. Be sure to write it down. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to return to myself here. That's it for today. Now I've got to clean up the living room here before I get in trouble. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.